Good day everyone, it's Caitlin, and today on Mending Monday we have a lot of clothes to get through. Alright, so I have an overflowing pile because here's the lid to my mending box, and here's a bunch of pile of clothes on top of the lid of the mending box that all the clothes are supposed to fit into the mending box. So we have a lot to get through today. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Caitlin, and on this channel I teach old-fashioned sewing skills. I do a lot of reproduction clothing, and then occasionally we do mending. It's a very important process of having a sustainable wardrobe is mending the clothes that you do have, whether they be historical or modern. So typically on this channel I try to stick through more historical stuff, but even my modern clothing is historical because all of my tops are technically 19 teens, like World War I. Sorry, the cat decided to come in the house. Hi Kitty, I'm over here. And all my skirts are 1950s. Some of them are 19 teens as well. So even my modern clothes are technically historical. So it fits in the time frame. And I'm not talking to you, Kyan, but you can come over here. I start talking to the camera and all of the animals think I am talking to them, which is why Lady is right here trying to get her attention. And then Kyan the cat's over there as well. Alright, so I know this apron is probably in here for burn holes. Yep. I have excess of this fabric. I just gotta figure out where I put it. So I'm gonna set this to the side right now. I remember. This doesn't have my button fell off. I gotta go find the button, but I can put the button back on this petticoat. Found a button. We'll just go ahead and sew this on and then move on to, there's another apron. I think the waist has come out of that one. So you set that. This is one of my modern skirts that I know has a rip towards the bottom. It's also one of my winter skirts, so once I fix it, it's going back into... I'm so sorry. If you couldn't hear him in the background. He thinks he's starving. He already ate breakfast like an hour ago. He's fine. This dress has the skirt that ripped out of it. And goodness knows what else is in there. If you don't know how to sew anything else, learn to sew on a button. It's incredibly simple. What I like to do is take my thread and fold it in half because it makes it a little bit more secure with fewer stitches. And with a 4-hole button, you can choose to do two side, or you can do crossways. It doesn't really matter. I do crossways unless I'm sewing them by machine. So my modern sewing machine actually sews on buttons, which is very nice. And when I first sew them on, I will usually do it by machine because I already had the machine out for sewing everything else. But when I'm doing things like this, it's just easier to do it by hand. Plus, this is a historical petticoat, which means that it does need to be done by hand because machines that did button sewing weren't around yet. It depends on the button, how big it is and that sort of thing, but usually about 5 passes through on either side. So because I'm doing the X, the crossways, it's going to be about 10 stitches, but I'm not counting. I'm just going until it looks full. Now, just because it's already over here on the mending pile, I'm going to go ahead and give it a once over and make sure that none of the waistband's coming out. Looks like I made some pretty loose stitches there, but it's not coming out. That's popping out a bit, but I can tighten that. I did the buttonhole on this petticoat by machine. I know better than that. I've never noticed though, so I guess it's fine. I wouldn't do that now, but apparently that's a choice I made prior. I probably made these petticoats. I made a whole set of underpinnings, like 4 sets of underpinnings, with, you know, a set of chemise, drawers, corset cover, and a petticoat that all matched. And there was 4 sets of those 4 garments, so it was 16 garments. And I probably made those, oh gosh, it was probably 7, 8 years ago. The chemises are the ones that are showing the most wear, because that's what I use most of the time. Okay. Alright, looks like we're good. This can be tossed somewhere else. This is an apron where last month I mended it. Let's see if I can find my mends. Oh yeah. There were just some really worn spots on it, so I reinforced all of that. Several spots actually. Make it last a little longer. The waist came out at an event, so we're just going to go ahead and fix that. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. Do we still have the gauging threads? Some of the gauging threads are still in there, but not all of them. Well, some of this very well could be done by machine. The the gathering, the gauging part for historical garments needs to be done by hand, but I can technically stitch the waistband on by machine. You are not starving. You're not. You're not hungry. Well, at least you're not starving. If you're that hungry, you can always go find a mouse. We live in the country. Yeah, you're a farm cat. You know that, right? You're supposed to help with rodent population. Not that I've actually seen any rodents. Maybe I'll do take care of those. Come here, you want to come get pets? Come on up. Come on the way up. Yep. Half the times I don't know if he's crying for food or he likes to lay on the bed and nap during the day, but he only likes to do that if I'm sitting on the bed with him doing like computer work. So sometimes he's crying for me to go to bed and let him nap with me. It's the same cat that if, you know, he decides it's time to go to bed around 11, but if I'm on a random kick and I'm going to stay up till 2 a.m. to get projects done, he does not like that. He doesn't care if I actually go to bed. He just wants to be in the bedroom. He's okay if I stay up working on the computer till 2 a.m. Right, after the gathering, I stitched it on. I ended up just doing it by machine. It was going to be easiest and it's hidden, so even though this is an entirely machine or hand-stitched garment, you're not going to see it, and it's a mend. So that happened historically too. Like, you could have had something that was completely hand-stitched, but by the time you got around to mending or remaking it, you had a sewing machine, and so parts of it are machine sewn, but then other parts aren't. And sometimes looking at the original garment, you're like, well, why did you machine sew that part and not this part? It's like, well, because she got a sewing machine and she fixed up her dress, or she made it a little bit more fashionable. But again, this is completely hidden, so you wouldn't be able to tell that anyway. But it's still historically accurate technique. This one's done. I know that there's no holes or anything in it because it's only been worn once since I mended it last, and it looks in otherwise good condition except for, you know, the skirt got ripped out, which is something that happens. Alright, on to my modern skirt, which I gotta find the hole. I believe this one is at the top somewhere. Yes, okay, so it's just a little rip here. Just like that. We're gonna mend that. I'm gonna use gray thread because my husband took my brown thread out of town with him because he's using it for a project, and I forgot that I was gonna do this. So I forgot to have him leave me a little bit. So basically I just gotta make sure the fabric gets stitched back together. I'm doing it from the back to make sure that most of the gray thread's gonna be on the back. Trying not to pucker it anywhere, but basically just gonna make sure that this hole doesn't get any bigger. And the goal here is really just to make sure that the fabric stays together, doesn't make the hole any bigger, doesn't rip further, and isn't terribly, of course, noticeable from the front. It's not too bad from the front. It's there, but with such a full skirt, you'll never see it. When I get some closer gray thread, or brown thread, sorry, I can go over that a little bit more. But for now, it is technically mended. Here. Oh, these are the skirts I was gonna, oh, that's where that extra fabric went to. That's a skirt that I was going to take apart, so it's going to end up being kids' clothes. So I don't need to mend that. Alright, this chemise that always seems to be coming apart because I didn't know what I was doing when I hand-stitched the whole thing. I really just need to take it back to its pattern pieces, sew it completely together again correctly. And honestly, it would probably save me time. But however, I have been mending this for several years now, and at some point, this thing is going to be more mend than sewed. And my mends have all been very decent, so is it really worth it? Yeah, the sleeve came out. The sleeve came out under here. Okay, that's not too bad. Hopefully it'll stick around a little bit more. Part of the issues I have with these sleeves is that the sleeves end up being just slightly too small on me. I can get them up there, but they are kind of tight around my arm, and I think that's part of the reason that I keep pulling out the sleeves when it's being worn. However, I'm at the point where I don't want to fix the sleeves because I've lost 30 pounds since September, and I'm afraid that if I keep doing this, taking it out will just, by the time I wear this chemise again, will not be any use to me because I'll fit into it. Alright, this is the part that's still in good condition, but because my stitching's not the greatest when I first did this, I'm going to do some smaller, tighter stitches, just a few inches so it doesn't come apart. I believe the underarm has the same issue, but I'm going to make sure that this other sleeve also needs to be mended. But not on top, just on the bottom. Just going to back stitch this in. I'll do 2 seams at once this way. It may be a little unconventional, but it'll be very sturdy. And the way I work with chemise is it's one of those, well, it's underwear. No one's really going to see it. I mean, they see mine because I do getting dressed videos, but not like close-up details like this. So this is going to be perfectly acceptable, and it will hold it very well. So I think I mentioned in the last Mending Monday video, but on the bottom of my mending basket, I've been keeping just random junk because when we were in the rent house, I had space for it. So I'm actually going to clear that out today so that I have space for my mending in my mending basket. I did pull out a couple modern dresses that I need to do something with. I don't remember what that thing was that I was going to do with them. I think this one just needs new buttons. Yeah, that's a super simple project. Oh, I have a small rip. No, that's a super simple project. Honestly, I'm wondering if I might want to just cut this up and make tops out of it. I do like them a lot. And I did my engagement photos in 2 of these dresses. But honestly, it's not a style I really wear anymore. But I love it's a nice linen fabric. And I have it in 3 colors. There's one here. I think this is going to end up going into a remake pile. Let's go ahead and put that in a remake pile. I should have plenty of fabric here to cut one of my tops. And found my black Elizas. I know why they're in the mending basket, because I do need to mend them, actually. There's a hole back here, and I need a new sole on both of them. I'm not prepared to do any shoemaking today, so I don't think we'll do these today. But they do need to stay in the mending basket, so that's fine. I have some stockings we'll work on in a little bit. I found like my shoemaking supplies, like my lasts are in here. Including an original to like the 1820s to 1830s. That's actually my size. I'm going to do something with that eventually. And here's a plaster of the same last that I made. I already have some new soles cut out for this. This is a piece to a chemise I'm making. Been wondering where those pieces were. And for some reason I have a bunch of yarn in here and like patterns for knitted goods. All my silk yarn was in here, which I now have a place for that. Nice sharpening stone, which I use for shoemaking. So that can stay. I think we are going to put my shoemaking stuff, a lot of it in here, because a lot of my shoemaking tools are actually in this chest. So the bottom drawer here, we put a lot of our shoemaking stuff. A lot of the stuff I use to make shoes. That's where the tools go. Technically my sewing box stays with the mending basket, so it's okay that my shoemaking supplies are in here. So I'm okay with the bigger pieces of sole leather and my last staying in here at the very bottom. I think that's fine, at least until I have a better system. Like, I pulled a big old bag of yarn out. These again do need to be worked on, so they will stay in there. Shoemaking, this is sole leather that can stay in here. Technically this leather apron specifically, I use it for shoemaking because I do a lot of this with some really sharp knives, so this helps protect me. So I think that can stay in there too. But that only takes up a quarter of my mending basket, so that's pretty good. Let's see what we got here. This doesn't even have a hole in it. I don't know why that's in there. This I've already mended. This is actually more mend than sock. What a mended sock looks like. It's already felted at the bottom because he's worn it so much. But yeah, there's no holes in this. Well, I thought this was going to be a long mending Monday because I had so much stuff in here. I do have this dress I need to re-gauge, but I'm not going to do that today because I need to make some decisions about this dress. Right now it doesn't fit me, which means I should be taking it apart to make it bigger. But I've been losing all that weight, and part of me knows if I lose 10 more pounds, this will fit me as is. I have no plans to wear it right now. Like, I don't need this dress. It's Rhett's favorite dress of mine, but I tried to sell it to somebody, And I'm like, I'm okay with selling it. This is no problem. Like, there's burn holes in this thing. It's one of my not nicer dresses. And I'm okay with selling it to somebody who will make good use of it. And he was like, but that's my favorite dress. I'm like, okay. Apparently we're not selling it. It is my favorite style. I do love the infant yoked bodices, but it may actually fit now. I don't know. I don't feel like getting a corset to try it out. But I don't want to redo it. If I'm going to continue to lose weight and then it'll be too big, I'll take it apart again. And that's just a whole bunch of work wasted. So I'm going to leave it in the mini basket. I'm going to see what my weight does, whether it stays where it is now, if it goes back up, if it goes down, whatever it does. And then when I find a somewhat steady weight, then I will figure out what we're going to do with this one. So I am going to put it back in the mending basket, because I just honestly don't know what I'm going to do with it right now. That may be all I have for you today. A couple of chemises and an apron. That's actually not bad. Oh, and the skirt. That's not bad. I'm going to save the other apron, because again, it's something I don't use very often. I don't need to. I can't find the fabric for the other apron. I know I have some somewhere. I can find the blue of the same print, but I can't find the gray. And I know I have it because I mended that apron last time, and it's probably stuffed into a sewing box somewhere that I took to the event that I mended that thing at. I gotta figure out which sewing box that is. So for right now, I'm gonna leave it till the next Mending Monday, and we'll fix some burn holes, which we've also done on the channel before. That's not a big deal. But at least we cleared out the mending basket. That's good. Here, let me show you. So I still have a whole half a basket to work with, which is good. So for next Mending Monday, I will know that anything below this I don't have to worry about. It's shoemaking stuff, unless I wanted to work on shoes. And anything above this I can work on. So at least it won't be piled up on top of this anymore. That's super helpful. I can put the other things away that we've worked on. The things that I decided I'm not going to mend, but I'm going to make into other garments. I will put those into where the fabric goes. Yarn can go where it belongs. All that good stuff. But for now, I think that's going to be it for Mending Monday. And the lid can go on and it looks nice and neat. And I actually have a space to put stuff on. Preferably not more mending. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Click the bell notification so you're notified anytime I upload a new video. As always, have a fantastic week. I'll see you back here in the next one.